You might have heard that everything is made of matter, and that's true. Allah Ta'ala has created the world full of matter, from a tiny atom to the massive galaxy. Every single particle through its existence speaks of a creator. But what is matter exactly? The scientific answer is, matter is anything that has weight and takes up space. You already know about weight, right? That's just how heavy something is. Like if you have ever been to a doctor's office, the first thing they do is have you stand on the scale so they can measure how much you weigh. As for taking up space, another way of thinking about it is that all matter has volume. It simply fills the area it's in. For example, when you pour water into a glass, the water's volume is the amount of space that it takes up in the glass. So all matter has volume and weight, but it sure doesn't all look the same. Well, that's because matter comes in different forms or states. Liquids are a state of matter that I'm sure you are familiar with. If you have ever poured yourself a drink while trying to watch TV, you might have noticed that liquids take up space, because once the space inside your glass is full, the water starts to overflow outside the glass onto the carpet. You also know that water has weight. If you carry a water bottle, as you drink from it, it gets lighter because you're removing water from it. Solids are matter too, of course, probably the most obvious kind. Rocks are solid and so is ice, which is just solid water. Soccer balls are solid, iPads and chairs are all solids. And just like rocks, all such things have weight and take up space. Now you know what's weird? Sometimes matter can't be seen or felt, but it's there, like the air we breathe. Air is an example of gas, the third main state of matter. And I probably know you are thinking, how do we know air or any gas is actually present if we can't see it? Well, we can prove it by doing an experiment. Science. Let's start by asking the question, is air matter? Because if it is, it should take up space and have weight, right? To see if air takes up space, I can easily drop an empty balloon into this little box, but a full one won't fit. That's because the air that fills the space inside the balloon is bigger than the space inside the box. Now, does air have weight? Let's try something else. Take two empty balloons and tape them into the ends of a meter stick. Then we'll hang the meter stick on a string so that it's perfectly balanced. Now, let's see what happens if we blow up just one of the balloons and put it back on our meter stick. Check it out. The end with the full balloon sinks. It weighs more than the empty balloon because the air gives it extra weight. The balloon full of air will always weigh more than the empty one because air is matter and matter has weight and takes up space, whether it's a liquid, a solid or a gas. Did you know Allah Ta'ala taught Nabi Zulqarnain alayhi salam how to utilize the states of matter? The story is narrated in the Quran Majid. آتوني زبر الحديد حتى إذا ساوى بين الصدفين قال انفخوا حتى إذا جعله نارا قال آتوني أفرغ عليه قطرا. Nabi Zulqarnain said, "Bring me blocks of iron." When he had filled up the space between the two steep mountain sides, he said, "Blow," until he made it red as fire, so it can be welded easily. He said, "Bring me molten brass so I can pour it over iron." Allah Ta'ala taught him how to make a wall of iron by melting and molding it. The same power that was gifted to many prophets, which enabled them to change the states of matter, lies in the khidmat of Sayyidina Ali Qadar Mufaddal Saifuddin Tawalallahu Umrahu Sharif. He has the power to melt iron and melt problems which are like iron in their rigidity and difficulty. It is important to note that matter cannot be created nor destroyed, but can only be transformed from one state to another. It is only Allah Ta'ala who created all matter, and it is only He who can destroy it.